This is the brand new DJI RS4 Mini. Now, I've been using this professionally for the past 30 days, and I'm going to show you what this small budget gimbal can do. Let's get started. What's good, everybody? Ken here. You're watching OriginaldoBo, and this is the RS4 Mini. I've had this now for the past 30 days, gotten a chance to put it through its paces and use it both recreationally and professionally. Actually, that's not true. It's pretty much just been professional, working with clients and testing this out to see how this would actually work. The very first time that I ended up using this, I took just this gimbal with me, which is super risky, on a client shoot to see how it would perform. I tested it out the night before, got all my settings tweaked and dialed, and just went right into it. And just like the RS4 and the RS4 Pro, this did not disappoint. It was super smooth, silky smooth, and very impressive. So let's talk about what's new with the RS4 Mini that makes it different than its predecessor, the RS3 Mini. So first things first, we got a brand new color scheme. This is the first time ever on a Ronin gimbal that we get this sort of gray / Arctic white look. I don't know what the color scheme is really called, but it is definitely refreshing and it looks awesome. We got the new Teflon balancing, so it's a lot easier to slide the gimbal around to balance it, which is convenient. We also get updated auto locks, which were not on the Mini, the RS3 Mini, which are very convenient and have spoiled me since the RS3 Pro. I've enjoyed those auto lock features, so it's good to see that they are here. They've also been improved on this particular gimbal itself, which is pretty awesome. It has a 4.5-pound payload capacity, which is going to be good for things like an FX3. I have a cage on here. I have a 28-75 Tamron lens. This setup itself weighs about 3.2 pounds. If I swap this lens out to my 24-70 G Master, I'm closer to 3.8, 3.9 pounds, cresting almost 4 pounds. So you're going to be good with most setups. Balancing will be a little bit more challenging than it is on the RS3, the RS4, RS4 Pro, and the RS3 Pro. So keep that in mind that longer lenses, you don't have quite as much travel, but honestly, I haven't had a problem with using these and it's still just silky smooth. Ultimately, we also get the new AI tracking. I'm just going to power this on here. We have this new tracking module that allows you to compose shots, which is pretty cool. You can keep a subject in frame, and if you're a solo filmmaker, you can activate this just by using sort of a fist sign, and it will start tracking you. Unfortunately, there's no way to make this track subjects. Like if I wanted it to fixate on this light in front of me or maybe a particular point of interest, there's no way to make it do that at this immediate moment. That's something I would like to see changed, is to make it more functional, where we can use it sort of like we do with the drones, where it can track subjects, making it, for me, much more unique when it comes to real estate. We also have the ability to go to vertical very swiftly on this. So I'm just going to power this gimbal off, lock it, and you'll see here, we are now able to go into vertical mode much more efficiently than we were but previously. So this is pretty cool. It's just like this, and then obviously you'll need to rebalance your gimbal. On the RS3 Mini, it was a pain in the butt to go to vertical. So now I can go right to vertical mode and obviously do a little bit of balancing and I'm ready to go. So that was way faster. The very first time I ever went into vertical mode on the RS3 Mini, I had to watch, I think it was Photoshop Cafe's video on how to do that, because it was just didn't make sense from an intuitive standpoint. This is far more intuitive and works way better. And you can see if we just turn it back on, perfect. And honestly, I can balance it out if I wanted to, but it's probably not going to need much balance. Honestly, probably actually it will need some balance. Let me go ahead and calibrate that. It's always best practice to calibrate it anytime you do that. And yeah, it's out of balance. So I'll probably need to balance this really quickly just to show you sort of how easy it is to balance that. And that looks good there. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and start the calibration and then it'll calibrate. So it wasn't out of balance too terribly much, which some gimbals, I mean, you really have to be super specific. This doesn't seem to be, you need to be as specific to get a great shot. So not a big deal there. I've been using this in both vertical and the horizontal formats for videos. And either or way, like I said, probably none of you have noticed I've been using anything different. So I'll touch more on the equipment I've been using with this here in just a moment. We'll let this finish calibrating. Now it's calibrated. So yeah, you can see we're pretty much back. Like that was a really fast calibration, a really fast balance. All right, let's talk more about this AI tracking here, because this is the newest thing that is available here on the RS4 Mini. Alrighty, so I'm going to do something a little bit different here, which I have to film a camera with a camera, filming a camera to sort of showcase what we have going on here. But essentially, this right here is the AI tracking module. Now that module is removable, but essentially I'm going to hold my hand up here just like this and watch what happens. I have my hand up, make a fist, stop, make a fist again. Hand up, and now it should track me. So let's see. Now, of course, you can go ahead and adjust how this tracks you. You can also adjust whether it does pan, tilt, follow. Right now, I have it just on pan, follow, because otherwise it'll go up, down, all around. But you can see from a solo content creator perspective, this would work very well. Or if you're looking to do something where you're going to track somebody as they're walking and you don't want to be the person actually control this, that's where this will work very, very well. As you can see, I'm just going to go ahead and stop it now. There we go. So now it's stopped and it'll indicate with that red light. Like I said, I think more features and compatibility will come to this. This is just a really unique thing. And like I said, if you're somebody who is filming on their own or has clients that are always wandering out of frame, this may help you auto frame them a little bit easier. All right, so one of the questions I always get asked is, what type of equipment do I use when it comes to filming real estate? And there's basically been two lenses that I have been using with this gimbal, which is the 28-75. It's a good combination of both a long focal length, lightweight lens, and I also use the 10mm Laowa. Now, when it comes to reels, this lens is honestly unbeatable. Matched with the RS4 Mini, it's just an inseparable combination that creates silky smooth shots. So now what I'm going to do is going to play some of the reels that I have shot over the past couple of weeks. I'll have to pair it up with some other types of music. Actually, probably not. I don't think it really matters at this point. I think I'm already going to lose monetization on this video because of the intro, but it really doesn't matter because I want you to get the point that all the shots that I've been able to do have had minimal slow motion and also minimal stabilization to improve my workflow. Take a watch. Alrighty, so what did you think of that footage? Personally, I think a lot of it came out incredibly smooth. I have zero issues with it. I love the fact that once you use one Ronin gimbal, it becomes very familiar how each of the gimbals interact with yourself. Honestly, the stock settings out of this weren't terrible. I did make some tweaks to get it a little bit closer to where I want it to be for real estate, to keep it as smooth as I possibly can when it comes to filming. Of course, you may want to adjust settings yourself, but I've really never found a Ronin gimbal that I was not able to dial in within about 5 to 6 minutes of using it, depending on what type of task you use. If you're interested in the settings that I do use on the Ronin RS4 Mini, let me know. I'll make a video walking through sort of my procedure on balance and also with the settings that I am using to achieve the type of footage and stability that I do get. A gimbal's going to take you about 80% of the way there. The rest will be how you walk and what you do in post, of course. All right, so let's talk about battery life really briefly. Battery life has been really excellent on this gimbal. I'm getting over a full day's worth of use and then some into the next day. Pretty much I'm charging this like every other day. Now keep in mind, I typically am filming a house every single day, so I will charge this a little bit more frequently than somebody that is not doing this professionally. Alternatively, you can also use this with a cell phone. They do include a cell phone adapter. I am strongly against using cell phones when it comes to real estate videos. Cell phones will always look like cell phone footage, and for me, I just never really cared for that, so I haven't done that personally myself. But you may be somebody that likes to film certain shots with a cell phone, and of course, being able to quickly mount up your iPhone or Android device to this will be a convenient thing if you don't want to buy something like the Osmo 7 or other type of gimbal like that. This is really convenient. Some reasons why you may not want to purchase something like this would be the fact that the battery is non-removable. And if you forget to charge, you have no way to charge this and you cannot replace it. You just have to plug it in. To charge it, it does take about 60 minutes or so to get this thing fully charged with using a 100-watt charger, which isn't terrible. Honestly, that's really not that bad. So if you're planning accordingly, or if you have like me, I have a DJI power bank. I leave it in the back of my Kia. I'll just pop this on the charger in between shoots so I know I'm always topped off. It gets a little dicey when you get down to that 20% mark of the battery. Then you start noticing that the gimbal can struggle depending on your payload, but otherwise it's been really flawless. It's been a joy to use. I love the small size. I love the fact that it can still handle my bigger setup while also being relatively compact. But there you go. That's the RS4 Mini. If you're interested in looking at this or checking out some of the footage I've shot with this gimbal, be sure to check the link in the description below, and I will see you in the next one. As always, stay original.
I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset.